Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. The Most High, the Heavenly Father, his Hebrew name is Yahweh. Not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah, not Abba. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua, Yahweh Shah. So I give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rekah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elder bishops, elders of great millstone, rule well, who teach well. Well, the apostles and elders of all of Israel, ready to accept it or not. And a sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing the truth and believing this truth throughout the four ends of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Akwal who are listening, learning, you sisters who are listening, learning, coming at you with the lesson and truth, facts, faith, and edification. Another day of edification, Lord willing, to be edifying. So I take this lesson. This is how you know the Lord love us. Us being so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. And this is called tough love. What the Lord has done to us as a nation is tough love, which is the chastening for sinning against the Lord. So I want to start with in 2 Maccabees chapter 6, verse 12, it reads this. Matter of fact, let me read this first. This is Jeremiah 50. In verse 4, it reads, in those days and in that time, saith Yahweh, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together, which is all 12 tribes. Because during the time of Solomon, the 12 tribes were split. Well, they tell you in Jeremiah 50 and 33, right here in North America, Babylon the Great, all 12 tribes were oppressed together. It say, in those days and in that time, saith Yahweh, the children of Israel shall come, the northern kingdom, they and the children of Judah, the southern kingdom, together, going and weeping. These are those that's returning back to the Lord. They shall go and seek Yahweh their power. They shall ask the way to Zion with their faces still toward, meaning towards the east, saying, come and let us join ourselves to the Lord in a perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten. My people has been lost sheep. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. Mountains represent different governments, different countries, different nations. They have gone from mountain to hill, from one government to another. They have forgotten their resting place, our resting place, which is Jerusalem, Israel. All that found them have devoured them, which these heathen nations, and their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord. And see, these Edomites know that we sinned against the Lord. That's why we've been in captivity, from one captivity to another. All that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. So these nations know, once the Lord hid his face from us, that they can come upon us and do whatever, because we didn't have no defense. I also want to get this in Psalms 71. 10. See, these heathens know, man. That's why they came together. They came together as Confederate to take us down. And they said, what? Come and let us cut them off, that the name of Israel may be no more remembrance. So like, this is Psalm 71 and 10. Say the same difference as Jeremiah 50. Psalm 71 and 10 reads, for my enemies speak against me, and they that lay wait for my soul take counsel together. See, when you read in Psalm 83, all these nations that came together, so-called white man, Chinese man, the Japanese man, the Africans, the Arabs, right? The Elam, these Elamites, these Iranians, all these nations came together to destroy us, saying God have forsaken him. See, it said the same thing in Jeremiah 50. They said, we offend not because they have sinned against their Lord. See, these nations knew that we sinned against the Lord, and the Lord hid his face from us. For my enemies speak against me, and they that lay wait for my soul take counsel together, saying, God hath forsaken him, persecute and take him, for there is none to deliver him. And see, that's why these devils don't understand. In Deuteronomy 28 and 68, when it says, you shall be sold to your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall redeem, and no man shall buy you. That word buy mean to be delivered, to be redeemed. Nobody's going to save us out of the hand of our enemies but the Lord. So when you go to 2 Maccabees 6 and 12, and this is how you know the Lord loves us, man. Because being punished, let me get this real quick in Proverbs. The Lord said he chasteneth those whom he loves. So you find yourself going through trials and tribulations, different adversities and afflictions. When you come to this truth, just know that's the Lord trying and testing you and building up your faith. This is Proverbs 3. Proverbs 3 and 11, it reads, my son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. So this is the Lord correcting us. So in 2 Maccabees 6 and 12, it reads, because since we've been split from Solomon, when the kingdom was split, we have been in one captivity to another. From Egypt to Babylon. It say 2 Maccabees 6 and 12. Now I beseech those that read this book that they be not discouraged for those calamities, but that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation. See, this is a chastening of our nation, man. It's for it is a token of his great goodness when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished. See, if the Lord don't chasten us, then we'll be like Pharaoh, right? We'll be like Egypt. We'll be like these Edomites. Even worse than them, we'll be like the Canaanites. Because before the Lord let us took the land of Canaan, which is Israel today, the Lord had let them Hamites wickedness, all the idolatry they were doing, all the witchcraft that them Canaanites was doing, had to build up to a point. And then the Lord was like, okay, go take that land. Okay, they done maxed out. They done maxed out their credit card. Go take the So as the Lord said with Egypt, right? The Lord raised up Pharaoh, hardened his heart. Same thing doing with the so-called white man today, with their wickedness, passing bestiality laws, passing these LGBTQ equal to act rights, right? It's legal for women to commit adultery and get away with it. And if you got money, they can take half your money. And you got to pay them alimony. It's legal. All these things is legal, man. Drugs, you can smoke marijuana legally. All these things is wicked, man. As it said in Isaiah 24 and 5, he transgressed the laws of the Lord, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. So the Lord said right here, let's read this again. See, the Lord ain't let us do that. The Lord ain't let us get away with constant wickedness, just constantly being wicked. Because every time, when you read the book of Judges, every time we went off, the Lord threw us in captivity on one of these heathen nations. Then, after the punishment, he came and got us, man. See, he set us in captivity for a punishment and to be corrected. As of now, as the head brother first came out with this, that America, the world is our captivity, but North America is maximum security, man. Okay? As a matter of fact, before I continue with that, let me read this. See, the Lord made the world our prison, but North America is maximum security. So I want to read this real quick in Isaiah 42. Because the Lord said, who gave us to these heathens? This is Isaiah 42 and 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes. They are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth. Because we wait on the Lord to come in and get us. for a spoil, and none shall restore. Who among you would give ear to this? Because 2/3 don't want to be restored. They want to stay here, get their few perks, nice little job, nice little house, whatever, nice little whip, and they good here, man. But we trying to get out of here, man. We want to go back home, man. It say, who among you would give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord? He against whom we have sinned, for they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient to his law. Therefore have he poured upon him the fury of his anger and the strength of battle, and it has set him on fire round about. Yet he knew not. 2/3 don't know, they know not, neither will they understand, and it burned him, yet he laid it not to heart. So the Lord put us in this situation, man. Oh, let me get this. In Romans, let's read this before I go back to Second Maccabees. The Lord put us in this situation for a reason. It's for correction, and you can't rule in righteousness if you don't understand what wickedness is, man. We had to know both sides. If we was all righteous, how would we know what wickedness is? If we was all wicked, how would we know what's good? This is Romans 8 and 20. For the creature was not made subject to vanity. We the creature. It said, for the creature was not made subject to vanity, not willingly. See, we didn't go off on our own. It said, but by reason of him who have subjected the same in hope. See, the Lord did this for a reason. That's why Isaiah said, it's Isaiah 63 and 17. And this is what people don't understand. See, Jake, they seeking, but they don't know. Because Jake, the so-called white man, have taught you that our captivity, our whole history started with Africa. So we went from Africa to just being slaves. That's not our history, man. Before we had to run into those interior parts of Africa, we was living in our customs and we was following the laws and statutes of the Lord. We had a heritage before Africa, man. Anyway, this is Isaiah 63 and 17. Oh Yahweh, this is what Isaiah asking the Lord. Oh Yahweh, why hast thou made us to err from thy ways? See, the Lord made us go off and harden up our heart from thy fear. Return for thy servant's sake the tribes of thy inheritance. So again in Romans 8 and 20, it reads, for the creature was not made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who have subjected the same in hope. See, this is how the Lord started the race over, and it's about who's going to have faith and hope, who's going to believe in the report, man. See, this is about, as I did a lesson last week, Isaiah 53 and 1. Who is going to believe the report of the Lord? See what you can see and what you can touch, which Jake Connolly want to touch money. They want to see money. They want to touch and see it. That's not hope, man. So right here in verse 24 it reads, for we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why doeth he yet hope for? But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it. Because Jake need to see the Lord. Jake need to see. They need to see it and touch it. Well, this is how the Lord started the race over. And it's either going to be through belief, your faith, or you're going to die a grievous death. One more precept to learn back that verse about the hope. This is about hope. Yahushua said in Matthew 16, I've been bringing this out a lot lately. It reads, because Jake need to see it, man. Yahushua said, this is Matthew 16 and 4. A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign. See, Jake need to see and touch it before they can have hope. Well, if that's the case, that ain't hope. This is how the Lord established the hopeful elect to return, through hope, through their faith, through their belief. And that's what the Lord told, what was that, John? No, was that Thomas? I think that was Thomas. He told him, he said, blessed are your eyes for you see, Right? He said, you see, no, he said, blessed are those that have not seen me. Let's get that, as a matter of fact. Let's get this real quick. So again, let me put this up. Again, Yahweh shall say, a wicked and adulterous, Matthew 16:4, a wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. And he left him and departed. So the sign is the prophets, the messengers, those that's teaching you sound doctrine, those that's telling you what it takes to return back to the Lord through his mercy, man. The Lord showed us mercy. So this is how we return it, through hope, faith, belief. It's about your faith. So in John 20:29, put it in the red, Yahweh shall say unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. See, Jake need to see something. They need to touch the money. They need to see the money before they'll believe. Well, when you go to the plantation and you work for the so-called white man, they don't show you the money first. They may tell you how much you're going to make. They don't show you the money. You go in, everything that we deal with in life, it takes some faith to believe in it, man. You believe the so-called white man gonna pay you every week or every other week, right? Yahweh shall said unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. See, this is the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai dealing with you by listening to these words. That's why we supposed to search. You can't just take my word for it. Go look the scriptures up. If we tell you something, go look it up, man. Okay, as the apostles always drill, we supposed to be like the church of Berea, man. Go look these things up, man. But we're gonna give you the straight skinny. Because if we tell you, if we go off and telling you something, the Lord gonna hold each and every one of us, the Lord's gonna hold us accountable for that. So I'm not finna lie to you. I'm not finna jeopardize my salvation to lie and tell you something wicked. That's what we try to tell Jake. All these Jake want to come up and talk about the mark of the beast is sin. It's this, is Christianity, it's embargo, it's this, is that. Oh, no, we could have Shiva Jata, we could have dreads, and we constantly going to scriptures, breaking down all these things to you. Always telling these wacky Christians that the Messiah is only coming back to save Israelites. And in that, only the remnant of Israel, because 2/3 of Israel are going to be put to death. We constantly showing you the scriptures, but they need something else. Well, the whole fleck don't need nothing else. Once you hear this word, it just something that just clicks in your spirit, and you know that this is the sound doctrine. This is it. This is what we've been searching for. Going whether you went to Baptist or you was in the Catholic or Protestant or Seventh-day Adventist or you're Jehovah Wickedness, whatever you was following, you heard this truth and it just clicked in your spirit. So again, John 20:29, Yahweh shall said unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen me, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. See? So let's get this. Back in Second Maccabees, this is how you know the Lord love us, man. Because hey, it say those who the Lord don't love, he don't chasten them. And then they are called bastards. And when you read Hebrews 12, man. Anybody, if they are not being chastised by the Lord, those are bastards. And the Lord don't care about the heathen nations. As a matter of fact, in Isaiah, let me get this real quick. In Isaiah 40, the Lord called the nations, they are nothing to him, man. Nothing. It's Isaiah 40:15 and reads, Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket. If you walking with a bucket full of water and one drop fall out, you're not going to cry over that one drop of water. This is how the Lord feels about these heathen nations. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket and are counted as the small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. And Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the beast thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. There's nothing you can give to Yahweh Shema Shai for his people, man, to be a part of this nation. The Lord only cared about Israel. It say all nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing and vanity. One more in Deuteronomy. There's nothing you can do. This is Deuteronomy 32 and 8. It reads, what's it like it? Spelled Deuteronomy wrong. Hold on. So Deuteronomy 32 and 8 it reads, when the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam. And we try to tell Jake, we try to tell all the people, the Lord is a separatist, man. He's a separatist. It say when the Most High, Yahweh, divided to the nations, there's 18 nations on the earth. You 12 tribes of Israel, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, you are one nation. There are 17 other nations that the Lord don't care about. He said they are like a drop that falls from a bucket, man. When the Most High divided to the nation their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. So, knowing that, real quick, the Lord said in Sirach, Ecclesiastes 17 and 17, this is how you know the Lord love you. It reads, Ecclesiastes 17 and 17, for in the division of the nations of the whole earth, he set a rule over every people, but Israel is the Lord's portion. That's what it say right here. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. It say, verse 18, whom being his firstborn, he nourished with discipline and giving him the light of his love, doeth not forsake him. It said, whom being his firstborn, right? Got to get this. Exodus. The Exodus 4. But the Lord tell Pharaoh, let his people go that they may serve him, right? Exodus 4 and 22. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus saith Yahweh, Israel is my son, even my firstborn. See? So, in 2 Maccabees, chapter 6 and 12, it reads, now I beseech those that read this book that they be not discouraged for these calamities, but that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation. Oh, I got to get this. I ain't gonna never finish the precepts I got. In Job, where's that? Job 34. Let's get this. Job 34 and 29. See, this is chastening of our nation, man, because we all went off as a nation. Job 34 and 29. When he giveth quietness, who then can make trouble? And when he hideth his face, who then can behold him? Whether it be done against a nation or against a man only. And see, the Lord got us as a nation. Well, they said one bad apple spoiled a whole bunch. Hey, because when you read about Jeremiah 17 and 4, the Lord told Jeremiah, even thou shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee. And Jeremiah did everything the Lord needed him to do and more. And Israel, he wanted to kill Jeremiah, man. But the Lord said, you know what? I don't care about that. You finna lose your heritage just like they finna lose theirs. Okay? And so again, it say, now I beseech those that read this book that they be not discouraged for these calamities, but that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation, for it is a token of his great goodness. Because the Lord love us, man. When wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished. For not as with the other nations, whom the Lord patiently forbeareth to punish, like the Canaanites, like the Egyptians, like the Edomites. All their wickedness is lifting up, like I tell you, Revelation 18. Jeremiah 51 said they sins, the so-called white man's sin have reached into heaven, man. Who passing all these laws? You can go sleep with an animal. And they got a hotel, you can go sleep with an animal, man. Who's passing these laws? Who got us eating pork? Every commercial got pork in it, man. Even the water got pork in it, man. Who's doing this? Because he's the so-called white man is the physical seeds on earth of the spiritual demon Satan. And what they name, they are known, the word devil, diablos in the Greek, which means they are the accusers of us, man. These are the spiritual demon Satan is telling the Lord, look what my seed got your seed doing. Got them committing adultery, they smoking weed, got them sleeping with animals, got them running around here being transformers and Decepticons. Look at them. They down there eating pork. Look what they're doing. You still gonna get a kingdom to them. That's what the Lord said. A remnant gonna be saved, and then they're gonna have to bring back the 2/3 that get put to death on this side. So again, it say, for it is a token of his great goodness when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished. That's why I said that's why the angels put in his work all day, every day. Every day you wake up, Zephaniah 3 and 5. The Lord bringing his judgment to light every day. Because it say the angels appease the wrath of the Lord, man. It said, for it is a token of his great goodness when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished, not as with other nations, whom the Lord patiently forbeareth to punish, till they become to the fullness of their sins. So just like the Canaanites, just like the Egyptians, just like these Edomites, it say, so dealeth he with us, least that being come to the height of sin, afterwards he should take vengeance on us, of us. If the Lord let us continue in sin and not punish us in between, man, at the end we're gonna be totally destroyed. That's why I tell you in Obadiah 118, the Lord gonna have a bonfire with these Edomites, man. They're gonna be totally done away with. It say, and therefore he never withdraw his mercy from us, and though he punished with adversity, yet doeth he never forsake his people. But you got these people, these Christians talking about, oh, God cast away his people. I mentioned in the lesson yesterday. If the Lord cast away his people, like the Christians say, then who are these people in the land of Israel calling themselves Jews or Israelis? So if the Lord done away with his people, why do you still have peoples on the earth today calling themselves Jews or Israelite, so-called Israelites? If the Lord done away with his people, that don't make no sense, man. That's contradicting, man. So they're gonna push to tell us, and the scriptures say, I read it yesterday in the scripts, man. The Lord have not done away with his people, but then you got these Edomites, these so-called white people telling the world, oh, God done away with his people. Well, who are these people calling themselves Jews in the land of Israel then? So this is Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 1. And every time you go through these scriptures, man, that's why Christianity don't want to deal with the scriptures, man, because they can't back up none of that garbage that they push on our people, man. But here it is, 2/3 of our people are brainwashed with Christianity. Christianity is the #1 drug on the planet, man. This is our Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 1. For thy incorruptible spirit is in all things. Therefore chasten of thou them by little and little that offend, and warnest them by putting them in remembrance. Putting who in remembrance? Israel, wherein they have offended, that leaving their wickedness, they may believe on thee, O Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushua. See, that we may believe on the Lord, man. That hope, that faith. It say verse 3, for it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of thy holy land, whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcrafts and wicked sacrifices, which Jacob always did. And we was close to the Lord back then. And Jake was still being wicked, worshiping other gods, having their animals ready to sacrifice when they got back from doing their wickedness, man. That's why the Lord said he done away with animal sacrifices, man. And Yahweh had to come down here and be that sacrificial lamb, man. The Lord got tired of Jake going to commit adultery, going to worship other gods, and then come back and sacrifice some animal, 2 or 3 animals, and say, okay, the Lord forgave my sin. Then Jake go do the same thing again the next day. See, this is why I say willfully sinning, man. As another scripture, and Peter say, don't use your liberty for a cloak of maliciousness, man. So Christianity today is, oh, you can repent like Catholic. Catholic say you can come in there, do 7 Hail Marys, put your money in the pot, and you can go commit sin again and come back next week and do the same 7 Hail Marys. And no, man, the Lord don't get on like that, man. That's called willfully sinning in Hebrews 10, man. But Christianity has taught that, man. You can do that. That's not the Lord, man. The Lord don't get on like that. It's a whom thou hatest for doing most odious works of witchcrafts and wicked sacrifices. And also those merciless murderers of children, because our people, Jake, was sacrificing their kids to Molech, man. Put them in the fire, burn them alive, man. Same thing today with these abortion clinics. That's the same difference. They just ain't put them through the fire, man. And also those merciless murders of children and devourers of man's flesh and the feast of blood with their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew, and the parents that kill with their own hands souls destitute of help, meaning their children, sacrificing them to Molech, man. It say that the land which thou esteemest above all other, which is Israel, might receive a worthy colony of God's children. What's the worthy colony? It's talking about the elect, man, the remnant. So this is Tobit chapter 3 and 14. Tobit 3 and 4, it reads, it say, for they obeyed not thy commandments. Let's read 1. Tobit 3 and 1. Then I, being grieved, did weep, and in my sorrow prayed, saying, O Yahweh, thou art just in all thy works, in all thy ways are mercy and truth, which is in Psalms 89, with that Psalm 89 and 14, and also in Psalms 85 and 10 and 11. Verse 10 say, mercy and truth are met together. Righteousness and peace have kissed each other to the hopeful elect, man. So again it say, O Yahweh, thou art just in all thy works, in all thy ways are mercy and truth, and thy judges truly and justly forever. Remember me and look on me, punish me not for my sins and ignorance, and the sins of my fathers who have sinned before thee, for they obeyed not thy commandments. Wherefore thou hast delivered us, all 12 tribes, for a spoil. I read in Isaiah 42 and 2, Isaiah 42 and 22, it said, who gave Jacob to the robbers and to the spoilers? For they obeyed not thy commandments. Wherefore thou hast delivered us for a spoil. It's and upon captivity and unto death for a proverb of reproach to all the nations among whom we are dispersed. Right now, this day, we are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth everywhere, man. Verse 5, and now thy judgments are many and true. Deal with me according to my sins and my fathers, because we have not kept thy commandments, neither have walked in truth before thee. See, the Lord scattered us throughout the four corners of the earth, man. This is Second Maccabees, First Maccabees, showing you how the Lord loves us, man. These captivities is for a punishment and a correction. Well, 2/3 ain't gonna be corrected, man. The Lord say, I read in Sirach 17 and 18, he nourished his firstborn with discipline, man. This is First Maccabees 2 and 10. It reads, what nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? Okay? What nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoils? The spoils of Israel, man. Every nation, we have been in captivity under all these heathen nations, man. All 17. This is Editions of Esther, chapter 14, and we start at verse 5. It reads, from my youth up, I have heard in the tribe of my family that thou, O Yahweh, tookest Israel from among all people, and our fathers from all their predecessors, for a perpetual inheritance, and thou hast performed whatsoever thou didst promise them, which is eternal life, the kingdom of heaven. And now we have sinned before thee, therefore hast thou given us into the hands of our enemies, because we worship their gods, O Yahweh, thou art righteous. Nevertheless, it satisfied them not that we are in bitter captivity. Jake ain't mourning here, man. They ain't mourning. Jake got some perks. They got a few. Jake get a nice car, nice whip, nice girl, nice crib. Jake good here, man. Well, the hopeful elect, we want to get out of here, man. We serving captivity, man. What is that, Baruch? 3 and 8. We are yet this day in our captivity, but we are subject to payments, man. Let me read that. This is Baruch 3 and verse 8. Jake, and this how show you how destroyed our peoples is, man. These niggas think they free, man. These slow belly niggas, man. They think they are free. It said, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments. Why we got to pay for our water when it was free in the ancient time? We were drinking clean water, good alkaline clean water out of wells. Now we bathing in water that comes through corroded pipes, man. Why we got to pay for our water when it was free? It said, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments. Oh, we got to pay for lights. In the ancient time, when the sun went down, that was it. It was family time, hover around, and pulled out the scrolls. That was it, man. It wasn't no working overnight in the ancient time, man. When the sun went down, that was it, man. That was it. It was home, family time. You either burning candles or you burning that them lamps, man. Them lanterns, man. Wasn't no working overnight. Denny's and McDonald's and SeaWorld and none of these 24-hour places, man. All night at the Waffle House, man. It say again, it say, but we are yet this day in our captivity, but thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power. Now this is in Jeremiah chapter 5, because it say in back to Esther, addition to Esther, verse 14. To read this again. Addition to Esther 14 and 5. For my it say, from my youth up have I heard in the tribe of my family that thou, O Yahweh, tookest Israel from among all people. I read in Deuteronomy 32 and 8. And our fathers from all their predecessors for a perpetual inheritance. And thou hast performed whatsoever thou didst promise them. And now we have sinned before thee. Therefore hast thou given us into the hands of our enemies, because we worship their gods. And to tell you in Deuteronomy 32 that we worship a new God that came newly up. Jesus Christos is a new God, which is of an old God, Serapis Christus. It say, and our fathers from all their predecessors for perpetual hate, for perpetual inheritance, and thou hast performed whatsoever thou didst promise them. And now we have sinned before thee, therefore hast thou given us into the hands of our enemies, because we worship their gods, O Yahweh, thou art righteous. Nevertheless, it satisfied them not that we are in bitter captivity. When you look up the word America means bitter, man. Nevertheless, it satisfied them not that we are in bitter captivity. It is from one captivity to another, man. But they have stricken hands with their idols. You see? So in Jeremiah 5, we were talking about this last night, man. Only thing left for Jake is death, man. This is Jeremiah 5 and 3. O Yahweh, are not thy eyes upon the truth? Thou hast stricken them, but they have not grieved. Thou hast consumed them, but they have refused to receive correction. It said, thou hast stricken them, but they have not grieved. Thou hast consumed them, but they have refused to receive correction. We watching the so-called white man gunning Jake down in the streets, putting Jake to flight all day, every day, which is from the Lord. That be their judgment. But we watching the Lord judging all day. And Jake ain't saying, man, maybe we need to do something different, like seeking the Lord. Jake ain't on that. Jake going harder, chasing the bag. And the so-called white man got this carrot dangling in front of you. And what he tell us? Get the bag first, and you can get the house and the pretty wife and the car and the kids and the bank account. Listen, The Lord says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and everything else will be added. But we know this devil is total opposite of the Lord. We write and read from right to left. The so-called white man got us writing and reading from left to right. Their calendar is based on the sun. The Lord's calendar is based on the moon. Show you how opposite this devil is. The devil promotes transforming the Decepticons run around here, bestiality laws. The Lord said that's a sin. There's women on the planet that do witchcraft. They're supposed to be put to death for that. But the Bible's supposed to be the book of the land, according to Ronald Reagan, right? They are total opposite, man. But this is how you know the Lord loves us. It say, Jeremiah 5:3, O Yahweh, are not thy eyes upon the truth? Thou hast stricken them, but they have not grieved. Thou hast consumed them. We watching Jake get put to death daily. What's this chick that hey couldn't escape that snow and she died in her car? Okay, death by snow, man. That's cold. That's a cold judgment. These people in California fires the other year, them people that was burned up in their car because they couldn't escape. Can you imagine burning in your car with all that other metal and plastic and fiberglass? We watching this happen and Jake still ain't repenting, man. O Yahweh, are not thy eyes upon the truth? That has stricken them, but they have not grieved. Nobody is grieving. The Lord put COVID to flight. That was a grievous death for him and his daughter. Nobody is considering. Thou hast stricken them, but they have not grieved. Thou hast consumed them, but they have refused to receive correction. They have made their faces harder than a rock. They have refused to return. Therefore I say, surely these are poor. They are foolish, for they know not the way of Yahweh, nor the judgment of their power. That's why Jeremiah said in Jeremiah 4:22, it reads, for my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children. Sottish means stupid. And they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. So the Lord said they are wise to do evil. That's why in Jeremiah 14:11, the Lord say, let's read it. Jeremiah 14:11. That's why when you see Jake get put to death, ain't no grieving, man. And we ain't crying over you slow-bellied niggas, man. Jeremiah 14:11. Then said Yahweh unto me, pray not for this people, for their good. So what Jake considers good is not good, man. It's wicked. Let's read again. Jeremiah 4:22. For my people is foolish, they have not known me. They are sottish children. They have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, which they call good. Oh, I fed the homeless this weekend. Yeah, I went out and fed the homeless. The Lord don't care about that. Did you tell them the name of Yahweh Shema Shah? Did you tell them they don't repent? That they're gonna get put to death and you gonna get put to death because you didn't tell them? Because their blood is on your hands? Oh, I fed the homeless. Gave them a couple dollars. The Lord don't care about that, man. Read the scriptures and you'll find that the Lord don't care about you feeding the homeless, man. Furthermore, who put the homeless in that situation? Don't worry, I'll wait. Who put the homeless in that situation? Go read 1 Samuel 2, verse 6 and 7. It's the Lord that did it, man. And whatever the Lord do, we can't reverse that, man. That's why we just here to deliver the message and keep it moving, man. Okay, the Lord say, rebuke them sharply that they may be sound in the faith and keep it moving. It say after the first and second in Titus 3:10, after the first and second admonition, the warning, reject them, man. We gonna keep it moving. Again, it say they are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. That's why in Hosea 4:7, everything that Jake consider is good, you glorying in it. Guess what's gonna happen? Hosea 4:7, as it were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore will I change their glory. They are wise to do evil, right? That's what Jake said. Good. Oh, I fed the homeless. It say, therefore will I change their glory into shame. Whatever you glorifying now, money, clothes, cars, whatever it is, jewelry, Whatever you glorify now, it's gonna be your shame in that day, and that's gonna have to save you, man. In Jeremiah 5 in the bottom, verse 31, it reads this. Verse 29, shall I not visit for these things, saith Yahweh? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? A wonderful and horrible thing is committed in the land. The prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests bow rule by their means. And what the Lord say in Isaiah 29:13? They have made my people to fear me through the precept of men. It say the prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests bow rule by their means, and my people love to have it so. And what will ye do in the end thereof? Because it's telling you in Ezekiel, the Lord going to visit you, man. The Lord is going to visit each and every one of you for your wickedness. And when you read Deuteronomy 7:9, the Lord say he's going to judge each and every one of us to our face personally. So this girl, I did a video on the other week. She was 16-year-old, the little 16-year-old maiden with her 10-month-old son. Them two guys stood over her and sent her back to the spiritual realm, man. Okay, deleted her. They stood over her with the ratchet, with the tone, and sent her and her 10-month-old baby back to the spiritual realm. That was the Lord judging her personally, her and her 10-month son, right in their face. Let me read it. Because Jake think this is a game. But this is how we know the Lord love us. Because only the hopeful elect will understand the truth, man, and have fear Yahweh Shema Shah. And cleave to the Lord, man. Deuteronomy 7:9. Know therefore that Yahweh thy power, he is power, the faithful power, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him, and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations, and repayeth them that hate him to their face. To destroy them, he will not be slack to him that hateth him. He will repay him or her to his face. So when you see Jake check out, that was the Lord judging them to their face, man. This is Romans chapter 5. And I'm gonna start at verse 12. It reads, wherefore, as by one man's sin enter into the world, and death by sin, and so death passed unto all men, for that all have sinned. And we're gonna get this in 2nd Ezra 7, because it's dealing with Adam. Again, it reads, Romans 5:12. Wherefore, as by one man's sin entered into the world, and death by sin, and so death passed unto all men, for that all have sinned. And Adam, that was Yahweh, man. Okay, that was Yahweh. So, as Elder Yashwama said it beautifully, through Yahweh came death into the world as Adam. And through Yahweh, death shall be ended. It's cold, man. It said, wherefore, as by one man's sin entered into the world, and death by sin, and so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned. For unto the law, sin was in the world, but sin is not imputed where there is no law. Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses, even over them that had not sinned after the similitudes of Adam's transgressions. Who is the figure of him that was to come? Who is the figure of him was to come? Yahweh, man. That's why I read Romans 8:20. For the creature was not subject to vanity, not willingly. The Lord made us go out for a reason, so we can understand, learn, and know righteousness and wickedness. Again, Romans 5:14. Nevertheless, death reigned from Adam to Moses, even over them that had not sinned after the similitude of Adam's transgression. Who is the figure of him that was to come? But not as the offense, so also is the free gift. For if through the offense of one many be dead, much more the grace of God and the gift by grace, which is by one man, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, have abounded unto many. That's the remnant coming back. Hebrews 2:10 and 11. It say, he that sanctified, they are sanctified of all one. And not as it was by one that sinned, so is the gift, for the judgment was by one to condemnation, but the free gift is of many offenses unto justification through Yahushua. For by one man's Salakia, Romans 5:17, for if by one man's offense death reigned by one, much more they which receive abundance of grace and of the gift of righteousness shall reign in life by one, Yahushua Mashiach. Therefore, as by the offense of one judgment came upon all men, the condemnation, even so by the righteousness of one, the free gift came upon all men unto justification of life. For as by one man's disobedience, many were made sinners, so by the obedience of one shall many be made righteous. Moreover, the law entered that the offense may abound, but where sin abounded, grace did much more abound. Yahushua, man, that sacrificial lamb for the remnant of Israel. That as sin had reigned unto death, even so might grace reign through righteousness unto eternal life by Yahushua Mashiach, our other one, which is Lord. Now, this is Second Ezra, starting at verse 46, because I was just reading Romans 5, because death came through Adam, which was Yahushua. And it say by the sin came into the world by Yahushua, and sin shall be ended through Yahushua. This is Second Ezra 7:46. I answered then and said, this is my first and last saying, that it had been better not to have given the earth unto Adam, or else when it was given him, to have restrained him from sinning. See, the Lord could have easily not made Adam and Eve go off, but Eve went off first, right? As it tell you, the scripture tell you that Eve went off first. That's why I say through the woman come death through the woman, man. And what is that? Ecclesiastes 7, verse 29, Ecclesiastes 7:26. It said, if you escape from a wicked woman, hey, through the grace of the Lord, man, because their hands and hard and nets and snares and traps, man. Especially a beautiful woman will trap you and get you put to death, man. Because what is that? First Ezra 4, it say many men have ran their wits for women, even seeing from women. You got a lot of women that set up dudes and how they dudes to set up other dudes. Women do this all day. But anyway, it say Second Ezra 7:46. I answered then and said, this is my first and last saying. And again, the Lord could have easily not made Adam go off or Eve go off. But then how would they understand what wickedness is? This is how the Lord set the movie up, man. We in a movie, man. Okay? You so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians, you are the main characters. Esau, Edom, so-called white man, he's the second character in the movie. The other 16 heathen nations, they just extras in the movie, man. But this movie is by Jacob and Esau, man. And the other 16 heathen nations are just extras in the movie, man. Okay? Collateral damage and casualties of war. That's all they are, man. So again, it say, I answered then and said, this is my first and last saying, that it had been better not to have given the earth unto Adam, or else, when it was given him, to have restrained him from sinning. For what profit is it for men now, in this present time, to live in heaviness, and after death to look for punishment? How are you going to look for punishment after death? Christianity say when you die, you either burn and go to hell or you go to heaven. Well, it tells Ecclesiastes 3:20, when we all die, we all go back to the spiritual realm. There is no place called hell. Hell is a condition, a judgment, or it's the grave, man. Your judgment and condition is played out on earth. So, for what profit is it for men now in this present time to live in heaviness, and after death to look for punishment? Hold on, what is that? It's 2 Corinthians, right? Let's back that up. 2 Corinthians 5:10, it reads, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of a Mashiach. How you gonna, it say, for we must all appear before the seat before the judgment seat of a Mashiach. that everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he have done, whether it be good or bad. So how do you get punishment after death? So it say, for we must all appear before the judgment seat of a Mashiach. So if you done died, went back to the spiritual realm, or you died going to hell, how you gonna? What's your punishment? You got to come back again and again. Every third and fourth generation, you come back over and over. Go read Psalms 104, 29 and 30. It tell you that. So it say back in 2nd Ezra 7. Just want to make that point. 2nd Ezra 7 and 40 and 49. For what profit is it unto us if there be promised us, or Salakia? Verse 47. For what profit is it for men now in this present time to live in heaviness, and after death to look for punishment? O thou Adam, what hast thou done? Israelite, Adam, what did you do? It wasn't Adam, it was Yahweh that did it, man. This is how the Lord set up this movie. O thou Adam, what hast thou done? For though it was thou that sinned, thou art not fallen alone, but we all that come of thee. For what profit? Remember what it said in Deuteronomy 32 and 8, when the Lord separated the sons of Adam? For what profit is it unto us if there be promised us an immortal time, whereas we have done the works that bring death, and that there is promised us an everlasting hope, whereas, see, an everlasting hope, man, whereas ourselves, being most wicked, are made vain. See, are made vain. And they say, and that there are laid up for us dwellings of health and safety, whereas we have lived wickedly. And that the glory of the Most High is kept to defend them which have led a weary life, whereas we have walked in the most wicked ways of all. And that there should be shown a paradise whose fruit endure forever. And that's in Revelation 22. They say there shall be a tree, right? A tree of fruit planted, right? And the leaves of the tree shall be for the healing of the nations. It's saying that there should be show a paradise, the kingdom of heaven on earth, which you can back that up with Revelation 5 and 9. We shall reign as kings and priests on the earth, man. These Christians with their little white babies flying around with angel wings and harps floating in the spiritual realm. No, man, kingdom of heaven gonna be on earth, man. This is the Heavenly Father Yahweh establishing his son's kingdom. Because Yahweh and Yahweh can't rule in the same kingdom, man. So the Lord is establishing his son's kingdom on earth, man. It's saying that there should be showed a paradise whose fruit endure forever, wherein is security and medicine, real medicine. What is that? Revelation 18. When you look at that word sorcery, it tell you how they got people destroyed through their what is called their pharmakia. The word pharmakia for sorcery. With they pharmacists, they say they dope, they medicine, right? They're witchcraft. Because what the word was that Job 13 and 4? They are forces of lies, they are physicians of no value, man. Right? The word doctor mean to falsify. So they are physicians of no value because the medicine they give you don't heal you. Right? We know that. Why would they heal a person with diabetes or high blood pressure? Or a person that got cancer or tuberculosis or any other disease for that matter? Why would they heal you? They lose money when they heal you, but they make billions of dollars a year, yearly, maybe even trillions, off selling you medications that what help you with the symptom, but it doesn't cure the disease. So again, it say, and that there should be showed a paradise whose fruit endure forever, wherein is security and medicine, since we shall not enter into it. For we have walked in unpleasant places, because we are pilgrims on the earth. We don't have a certain dwelling place, man. We are pilgrims on the earth. Hey, and hey, we pilgrims. That's what the Lord got us now. And to tell you in Micah 2 and 10, arise and depart, for this is not your rest, for it is polluted. Chemtrail, GMO food, contaminated waters, LGBTQP running around here rampant with equal to act rights. This place is polluted, man. Okay? We are walking in unpleasant. That's why we are pilgrims. Hey, the Lord made us pilgrims. So the thing, that's why the Lord said, don't get attached to the thing that you have. You got a closet full of dresses and suits and Jordans and the nice whip. Don't get attached to it, man, because that's going to make you take the mark of the beast because you want to stay here. It say, for we have walked in unpleasant places. This ain't our kingdom. Jake trying to reign like kings in a kingdom that's not theirs. Okay, the word kingdom means domicile for kings, man. LeBron James ain't no king here. King James. King well. Where his king at? At his mansion? Because the minute he leave his mansion, he's a high-paid servant. Him and Lil Wayne with his little rat face looking ass and all these other slow bellies that sold out. They may be a king in their mansions, but once they step out on them bricks, even in their mansions, they are owned by the so-called white man. They sign that contract, they got to bend over and take it. Yeah. So how they kings? They ain't kings. That's why Paul said in was that 1 Corinthians? Was that 1 Corinthians 4 and 8? They reigning like kings without us. They ain't kings, man. They are high-paid servants, and they sold out. And what's that? What's this called? Consolation prize. Consolation prize. Go look the word up. Consolation prize. You are accepting a losing reward. The Jesus and Jay-Z's and P. Diddy's and Dr. Dre's, they are accepting a losing reward. That's what consolation prize is. It's a Salakia. Back in 2nd Ezra 7, in verse 54. For we have walked in unpleasant places, and that the faces of them which have used abstinence shall shine above the stars, which we the stars, 12 tribes of Israel, we are the stars, but only a remnant will receive salvation. Whereas our faces shall be blacker than darkness. And Jeremiah mentioned that in Jeremiah 30. It's also in Lamentation 4. It said we are not known in the streets, right? And our skin is blacker than a coal. For while we lived and committed iniquity, we consider not that we should begin to suffer for it after death. How you going to suffer for something after death? Because you come back every third and fourth generation. Again, same spirit, different body, back again, man. Same spirit, man. It say, for while we lived and committed iniquity, we consider not that we should begin to suffer for it after death. That's why Yahweh said, why gain the whole world and lose your soul, man? Why get a nice mansion in the whatever on this side, and then you die a grievous death because you didn't seek Yahweh Shema Shah? And you got to come back again. You got to, well, this is the last run, though. This is it. If you down this side now, but hey, you what is it? Job 36, you shall die without knowledge. And now you got to come back in the kingdom as through the loins of one of the elect that get saved. Now you got to come back as a baby in the kingdom. So if you die now, if you tap out now without Yahweh Shema Shah, you got to come back as a baby, man. So it say, for while we lived and committed iniquity, we consider not that we should begin to suffer for it after death. Right, beautiful, brother. That's 2 Ezra 14:35. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle. Hold on. I read Romans 8 and 20. This is how the Lord set it up, man. It say, then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle which man that is born upon the earth shall fight. That if he be overcome, he shall suffer, as thou hast said. If you be overcome by the things of this world, by getting consumed by the philosophy of the so-called white man, and him giving you, putting a carrot in front of you, got you running around like the greyhounds on the dog track, chasing behind a rabbit. It say that if he be overcome, he shall suffer, as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say, which is what? Everlasting life, the kingdom of heaven. And we talk about this all the time, that each one of the 144,000 men will be the foundation of their family lineage in the kingdom, man. It's gonna be one thing to make it to the kingdom, Lord willing, but to be one of the 144,000 men, and you get to bring back a whole generation, starting with you, man, ain't nothing. Hey, just thinking about it, nothing better than that, man. You get to bring back a whole generation of your family and others. How the Lord have it set up, you get to bring back a generation, man, starting with you. So the point I want to make in this verse, it said, 2nd Ezra 7 in verse 57. Then answered he me and said, this is the condition of the battle which man that is born upon earth shall fight. So again, in Romans, let's go back to this. In Romans 8 and 20. This is the conditions the Lord set up, man. This is how Yahweh Shema Shah set it up. Romans 8 and 20. For the creature was not made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who have subjected the same in hope. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of power. See, it said, well, I was reading that. Oh, what's that? Wisdom of Solomon. Let's read this again, because that's heavy, man. Wisdom of Solomon 12. Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 7. It reads, that the land which thou esteemest above all other, which is Israel, might receive a worthy colony of God's children. That's talking about the elect. First and foremost, the 144,000 men and the women that get delivered. Hey, because 2/3 gonna come back in the kingdom through those elect men and those elect women that get salvation. Because the 144,000 men, hey, and I'm just using this number because Solomon had what? 700 daughters, 700 wives, princesses of Israel, and 300 concubines. So if Solomon had 700 wives of Israel, so just imagine every 144,000 men having 700 wives, because we gotta repopulate the kingdom. We gotta repopulate the earth. Lord willing, we'll be up that number. Well, I'm gonna say the elect gotta repopulate the earth. So, man, if Solomon, and it tell you, and the link Solomon having 700 wives, what Isaiah 4 and 1 say, in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man in Jacob's trouble. Not any man, a man of the Lord. 7 women, 7 mean completion. So that link beautiful with Solomon had 700 wives of Israel, princesses. So in the kingdom, we're gonna be able to have many wives we want, because we gotta repopulate the earth. And we're finna be able to go to the uninhabitable galaxies. These Edomites said that the galaxy is steady expanding, man. The universe is expanding, man. And what Yahweh said in John 14 and 1, in my father's house are many mansions, man. See, these Edomites can't get past the radiation belt, but we're gonna be able to in those angelic bodies. So, like the elder apostles always say, Jerusalem is gonna be the headquarters, man. Because all of us, all 144,000 men, we ain't gonna be able to live, because North America gonna be destroyed. This place will never be inhabited again. We ain't gonna be able to live in the known world, man. With all that population, it say one in Isaiah, what Isaiah 60, one shall become 1,000. Okay, thousands upon thousands, man. But this is how you know the Lord love you. It say Romans 8 and 21, because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of God. For we know that the whole creation groaneth. What is talking about? You just had an orca whale, which is one of the smartest whales on the planet, far as we know. For we know that the whole earth, the whole creation groaneth. The orca whale just beached itself about a week or two ago. Dolphins is beaching themselves. Why? Because the water polluted, man. The air contaminated. Birds falling out the sky. Fishes, thousands upon fishes is dying, floating upon the waters. It said, for we know that the whole creation groaneth. Oh, Isaiah 14. It said, even the trees gonna rejoice when the so-called white man go down. Because who cut them down? Who cutting down the fir trees, which is known as Christmas trees? When they supposed to, the fir trees oxygen put oxygen, it clean what's it called? It filters the air, man. But they cut them down year round. Why? Because that's the one tree that lived through the winter, man. They said the whole creation groaneth. Why? Because of the so-called white man and his wicked rulership. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. And that's why you got these animals at these zoos, hey, swiping these zookeepers, man, putting them to flight. You got animals caged up, man, like people. It say, verse 23, and not only they, but ourselves also, we all grown. Hey, what was it? Daniel 7. It said they shall wear out the saints and think to change times and laws. These Edomites, man, they wearing us out, man. It say, and not only they talking about the whole creation grown up, and not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the spirit. That's why you got to put on as the elect. Colossians 3 and 12. Even we ourselves grown within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption. What is it? What is that? Deuteronomy 28:68. You shall be sold your enemy for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. That word buy means to be redeemed. It's the redemption of our body. Because it tell you in Philippians 3 and 21, that Yahweh is going to give us them glorious bodies like himself, man. It said, for we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man seeth, why doeth he yet hope for? Why would you hope for money if you got your hands on it? See, this ain't about carnality, man. This is about spiritual, man. But if we hope for that we see not, then do we with patience wait for it, man. And this is a part of those afflictions, man. Let me close with this. In 2 Corinthians. This is how you know the Lord love you, man. Because you got this wisdom, not understanding. And 2/3 of Jake is bugged out here, man. Jake going to all these other books, bugged out, man. Jake don't even fully understand the Apocrypha alone. Jake don't even understand the scriptures alone, just the Bible without the Apocrypha, which the Apocrypha is a part of the Bible. Jake don't even understand the scripts alone by themselves, and they want to go into these other books. Man, the Lord bugging Jake out, man. First Corinthians. What else want to get on? 4:17. 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 17 reads, for our light affliction. What the Lord putting us through right now is a light affliction. And I got to close my two main precepts. For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, working for us a far more exceedingly and eternal weight of glory. For while we look not at the things which are seen, see, which links right with Romans 8 and 24. Hope that is seen is not hope, man. It said, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. So this is our light affliction, man. This is how the Lord brought us back, hey, through the wisdom, knowledge, understanding, man. And now we understand wickedness and righteousness, right? Oh, let me get this before I get my closing precepts. In Proverbs, man, beautiful times, man. Hey, just stay prayed up, man. Pray Yahweh Shema Rashad to increase your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, that you may feed the, but that you may talking to the men, that you may feed the sheep with sound doctrine continually. Pray to Yahweh Shema Rashad to increase your strength, man, to strengthen you to endure, Lord willing, till you get salvation. Lord willing. Proverbs 12 and 26 reads, hey, the Lord take care. Psalm 68 and 19, the Lord said he'd give us our daily benefits. If you stay grounded in Yahweh Shema Rashad, they tell you in Galatians 5 and 16, it say, walk in the spirit, that you should not fulfill the lust of the flesh. The more you exercise your spirit, the flesh lose, man. Because the minute you wake up and get up out your bed, your flesh and spirit is boxing, man. And it's a real, a real UFC fight, man. The minute you get on your feet, your flesh and spirit is fighting, man. You got to constantly exercise the spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh, because these two are contrary. Go read Galatians 5:16 and 17. This is Proverbs 12 and 26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked. Who is the wicked? The so-called white man, the Edomites. The righteous, which are you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. You are the righteous. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them. Therefore, the Lord said in Proverbs 3:31, but they ways seductive us, man. That's why the Lord said this. Proverbs 3:31, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. So now, instead of being one-sided, now we have understanding of what righteousness and wickedness is, man. So these are my closing precepts in Ezra 9 and 13. This is a light affliction, man. As it said in 2 Corinthians 4 and 17. Ezra 9 and 13. And after all that has come upon us for our evil deeds and for our great trespass, seeing that thou, our God, has punished us less than our iniquities deserve. See, this is a light affliction, man. And Jake running around here trying to be super deep, and they don't know nothing. It say, and has given us such deliverance as this. What deliverance? Through what? It's through the hope, man. It's through your hope, man. Your faith. This is Job 11 and 6. It reads, and that he would show thee the secrets of wisdom. Hold on. Let me get it from the phone. The Lord is showing the remnant, the hopeful elect, the secrets of his wisdom, man. And what it says in Isaiah 33 and 6, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our time. Jacob's trouble, right? And the fear of the Lord is his treasure. So in Psalms 25 and 14, it reads this. The secret of Yahweh is with them that fear him, and he will show them his covenant. Hold on. Deuteronomy was that 29 and 29, it reads, the secret things belong unto the Lord our power, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. The Lord's secrets is only revealed to who? The elect, Israel, period. Israel, period. But there's an elect. Amos 3 and 7. Surely the Lord, Yahweh Shema power, will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. And as you read in Isaiah 54 and 17, if you're not an Israelite, you can't be a prophet. Oh, right here, Amos chapter 2 and verse 10 reads, also, let's read 9. It said, yet destroy I the Amorite before them, whose height was like the height of the cedars. That's why I'm talking about the sins lifted up of the Canaanites. That spirit, the Lord got me to read this. You see? You can't make this up. I did not have this on my list of scriptures. It said, yet destroy I the Amorite before them, whose height was like the height of the cedars. Right? Their statue, their wickedness, and he was strong as the oaks. Yet I destroy his fruit from above and his roots from beneath. The Lord plucked them up by the root, man, and gave us the land of Canaan. It say, as I brought you up from the land of Egypt and led you 40 years through the wilderness to possess the land of the Amorite, which is Canaanite, the land of Canaan, Israel today. And I raised up of your sons for prophets and of your young men for Nazarites. Is it not even thus, O ye children of Israel, saith the Lord Yahweh? So you can't be, oh, I got to get this. In Leviticus 25 and 55. It reads, for unto me the children of Israel are servants. They are my servants, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God, possessive pronoun. Your God. I'm the Lord your God. So in Amos 3 and 7, again it reads, surely the Lord, Yahweh Shema Power, will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. Leviticus 25:55 said, what? Israel is his servants, man. So this is how you know the Lord love you. So again, it say, Job 11:6, and that he will show thee the secrets of wisdom. Wisdom and knowledge is the stability of our times, Isaiah 33 and 6. That they are double to that which is. Know therefore that God, power, exactive of thee less than thine iniquity deserveth. You see, like same thing is said in Ezra 9 and 13, man. Oh, let me get this. In Exodus, this is how you know the Lord love us, man. Through the chastisement, man. This is Exodus 2 and 23. I remember what happened in Egypt. It say Exodus 2 and 23, and it came to pass in process of time. See, in process of time, that's why we gotta be patient. Was that Hebrew 12 and 1, man? This is a race, a patient race, man. It's not a swift race. You gotta be patient. Otherwise, you're gonna burn out, man. Your wick gonna burn out, man. And and it came to pass in process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by the reason of the bondage. Is we not crying about the captivity now? Tired of working for these devils, man. Pennies on the dollar. And if you is getting a fat check, it's going, hey, with Haggai 1, Haggai chapter 1, verse 2 through 9, it said we putting our money in a bag with holes in it, man. You paying bills. You got car insurance. Don't have no new car. You paying $500-$600 for some fiberglass and $300-$400 for insurance, man. Because every new car you get, it gotta be fully covered, man. And if you don't got a new car, you're still paying insurance. You want cable? You want cable? You want internet? You got lights, food. You got to buy the tissue and the toothpaste and the soap and the washing powder and bleach and this and that. Man, listen, man. We are crying here, man. Everything that we get, we supposed to be getting, supposed to be, hey, you got your own land. You want to build your house, you cut down your own trees. And the Lord gave us a law on certain trees to cut down. You can't just cut down any old tree, man. This devil just cut down any tree. It don't matter what it is. And it came to pass in the process of time that the king of Egypt died. We had wells on our land, man. Free water. Oh, I was gonna read Lamentations 5. It said our wood and our water is sold to us, man. You want to build something? You gotta go to Lowe's. Or you gotta go to Home Depot. Who controls Home Depot and Lowe's? The so-called white man. Well, in ancient time, we can go in our woods and that's why I miss home so much in Mississippi, man, because you know, little family land. You go out there. Me and my brother used to, when I was deer hunting, we used to cut down an old tree and have firewood, man. We ain't had to go to the store and buy the wood, man, because it's on our property, man. Jake don't consider none of it. We trying to get home, man. We trying to get back to our land, man. And it came to pass in the process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by the reason of the bondage, and they cried, and their cry came up unto power by reason of the bondage. That's happening now, man. Our prayers is going up through the clouds, man. Lamentations 3 is also in Sirach 35, man. Our prayers is going up, man. And guess what? Blessings are coming down because the Lord is destroying this place, man. It say, and God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. Esau's name is not in this. And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them. Now, this verse right here, Exodus 2, 23 through 25, it's the same verse in Isaiah 19. Hold on. Isaiah 19. We crying again. Now, this was the first Egypt. Here is the second Egypt, which is a miracle. That's why the pyramid on the back of the dollar. That's why they embalm people here when they die. That embalming come from Egypt. Bowling and beer come from Egypt. Makeup come from Egypt, man. We in Egypt again right now. Isaiah 19. Oh, who built the pyramids in Egypt? Don't worry, we'll wait. Who built them? Hebrew Israelites built them. Go look it up. You don't got to go to some book of the so-called white man. Go read Exodus. We built those pyramids, man. You got some slow belly Edomites and bug out Jake talking about, oh, yeah, the angels came down and the aliens. Man, listen, man. The Lord gonna kill you slow belly niggas, man. Isaiah 19:19. In that day shall there be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt. This ain't talking about ancient Egypt. And a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord. The pillar are the men of the Lord standing out there in the highways and hedges. We are the pillars. Lord willing, we endure to the end. And a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord, and it shall be for a sign to return back to Yahweh Shemashah, for a witness unto the Lord of hosts in the land of Egypt. For they shall cry unto the Lord because of the oppressors. Didn't it just say this in Exodus 2? It said we cried by the region of the bondage from the oppressors, man. It say, for they shall cry unto Yahweh because of the oppressors. What oppressors? The Egyptians, the Edomites, the so-called white man. And he shall send them a savior. Who? Yahushua. And a great one. Hold on. This is the cold part. And a great one, right? And he, Yah, shall deliver Hawashai them. Yah, Hawashai. Just like it say in Matthew 1, man, and 21. For he shall save his people, right? He shall save his people, man. And he, Yah, shall deliver Hawashai them. Lord was edifying. Gotta give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Bahashem Yahushai. Bahashem Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the bishop and elders of great millstone who teach well. Well, the apostles and elders of all Israel already concepted or not. And the sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing this truth and believing this truth to the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. Shalom to the Akbar who are listening and learning. If you sisters who are listening and learning. Hey, the water for them precepts, y'all brother, let the come and board up the water. The death for those that come after. Hey, the water for the precept, the water for tuning in. May Yahweh Shema Shah continue blessing your houses. Stay prayed up. Wa Abba Baba.